What's going on, guys? Welcome to a new D&D storytelling video. As we last left off, the group made their way out of the Ashcan Citadel after rescuing Finnegan and Ranzor, the old heroes of Tav. As they made their way back to Galhara to use the teleportation runes to head back to Stormwind, they quickly rushed to the Cathedral of Pelor to heal Finnegan and to make sure the hero of Zatav, Ranzor, was okay. Upon bringing them back, the group quickly decided to rest before deciding their next move. As they all rested the next day, they wanted to go to the castle to discuss things with Princess Adeline, to tell them how the Ashcan Citadel went. As they made their way to the castle, they discovered that there was a lot more guardians and guards outside the castle walls. As they approached and asked them what was going on, the guards explained that there has been a break-in into the king's room. They convinced the guards that they have urgent matters to discuss with the princess, and they were let in and met with Princess Adeline. As they talked to Princess Adeline, telling them what exactly happened, Princess Adeline explained that basically Mordred broke into the king's room and was trying to find information about the king of where his whereabouts were. The group then ventured into the king's room, discovered that it seems that the king wrote down his plans, and it seems that Mordred had found his way inside, found these plans, and is now heading to where the king was, currently in the Shadowfell. The group quickly decided that maybe he hasn't left yet, maybe we could stop him in time, and decided to go ahead to Lucien, the creator of the Guardians. As they made their way down where Lucien was and talked to Lucien, telling him where the king's whereabouts were, what happened, and what's going on, Lucien promising not to tell, Lucien decided best to be to scry on him. If Mordred is in this plane of existence, the scrying spell would work. If he isn't, it won't work. Upon giving Arya the scrying orb, Arya cannot lock on to Mordred at all. And the group decided and figured that he's gone, it's too late. So they decided, we need to venture into the Shadowfell, we need to save the king and the Mordred, this can't be held back anymore. They decided to head to Ironforge to talk with Lady Teresa, the old queen of the Slayer's Take back in Undercity. As they talked to her, flying, using their Pegasus ring to fly over, they met her, this very beautiful woman with these long black curly hair. She was known as a grand weaponsmith for making monster weapons, being the guild leader of Undercity. She knows what's best for these beasts and how to kill them. She couldn't do much for them right away, considering that they were on a certain time schedule. So she was able to give them a short radiant enchantment, since they were heading to the Shadowfell, to kind of help them defeat the undead a little more. She also promised Aldrax, if Aldrax would bring her back a Shadow Dragon's tooth, she would form it into a huge weapon for him, for he has been asking about a huge weapon recently. The group then all decided to head back to Stormwind to use the teleportation rings to head back to Dalaran, where they were escorted to the Shadowfell, or the Elemental Plains portals, talking with the mages of Dalaran. Kriv deciding to give up the Blade of Aldria to one of the mages, for he did not want to take it into the Shadowfell, for very good reasons. As they stepped through this dark purple portal, they arrived in this colorless plane of existence known as the Shadowfell, with undead all around, walking and approaching. All of them could see, besides Vash being a human. And Canwell, I forgot to mention, was not there. Canwell was by sleeping back on the boat, for he was resting, had lots of exhaustion. But as they kind of approached, they began to try to stealth. However, they did not stealth very well, and was quickly discovered by this shadow dragon atop of this big black tower in the middle of this huge valley of darkness. As they kind of stood there, kind of walking around this cliffside, they saw a group of undead making their way out of the castle towards their direction. As the group of undead approached them and began talking to them, asking them to drop their weapons and to come with them, rather by them or the dragon, Aldrich decided to slam his weapon into one of these individuals and then break into a fight. The undead quickly almost drained the life out of Aldrax, and the group decided maybe we should just stop and just go with them. The group decided to head with the undead into the across this big, very old wooden bridge into the tower, where they made their way into the second story of this tower, seeing a bunch of prison cells, and one prison cell containing a very familiar human being known as Mordred, who was naked and very, very badly injured. He was freaking out, but Arya managed to calm his emotions down. But he cannot say much, as a very pale individual walked down. She had violet hair, these dark purple eyes, and this black and purple dress as she walked down the stairs and approached them, this being the elemental mage of darkness, the ruler of the Shadowfell. As she approached them and began talking to them, as they, the group was trying to work out a way to get Mordred and Canwell out of here, the elemental mage of darkness said that if you're taking some of the people, we can make a deal. So the group figured out anything they could do. Kriv decided to give his soul, or basically his life, and bind a contract with this elemental mage of darkness, whose ruler is Nero, the god of death. For Kriv talked to his deity, Wehas, and Wehas said that her and Nero were basically working together. So Kriv gave his soul up for the king, and the king was allowed safely back to return back to the material plane. Miley gave up a Lightbringer, the relic of Silvermoon, which contained great power, including the void which was inside, and her own life for information about Finnegan and how to help him and save him. When she was asking about information about the ziggurat, Kriv and Miley and the king were transported out of the Shadowfell by the Elemental Mage of Darkness after confirming their deal, after receiving these almost tattoos on their hands of a skull and a sickle below it being the symbol of Nero. Arya, Caspian, and Aldrax were left by themselves, trying to figure out a way to free Mordred and get him out. However, the Elemental Mage of Darkness was not wanting to give him up, for he contained very hidden secrets that she wanted. Arya and Caspian ready to give up her life, but the Elemental Mage of Darkness wanted more. She wanted Arya's dragon, and she wanted Aldrax, for she could not read Aldrax's mind, but she could read everyone else's. Aldrax, getting tired of this, decided to leave the tower and make his way onto the bridge, causing the Elemental Mage of Darkness to become pissed. And she sent the dragon out at Aldrax. However, Aldrax stood still. As the dragon went to attack Aldrax, it seemed to just hit this invisible barrier, causing it to kind of snap back. And in front of Aldrax, and only Aldrax could see this, was a black cloaked figure with raven feathers on the sides, on the shoulders, just holding out her hand to stop this dragon. Aldrax resting his hand on top of her shoulder. As Arya and Caspian decided we can't do anything now, we have to leave. As they made their way out to the As they made their way out to Aldrax, the elemental Major Darkness began to shoot spells at them, but they just kind of bounced off, not being able to do anything. As the two of them approached Aldrax, seeing that he just seemed to have his hand out, blocking this dragon and blocking them, keeping them safe. They were very much confused as Arya read the scroll of teleportation, teleporting them back to Stormwind. Kriv and Miley were teleported back to the Askron Citadel, down in the Ziggurat room, where they met the lady there who kind of roamed it, who greeted them, saying, "Welcome, I am a member of Neural. And if you leave your king here, I can heal him and bring him back to full health. If you do, he won't die." Miley, being skeptical about this, decided, okay, but only if I can stay here. The lady just said, "This is no need, I can just make a clone of you, you can stay here, you can always watch. That way you can still venture off with your friends." Miley agreed, and those two were teleported back to Stormwind to meet up with the rest of the group, where they all discussed things and decided it would be best for them to sleep, for they have an important meeting tomorrow with the gunslingers. After a very nerve-wracking sleep, they did wake up and made their way to the Pig and Whistle Tavern, located in Stormwind, where they basically day drinked all night, or all day, for they were just sad, and especially after the recent events of yesterday. The group waited all night before an orange blondish hair individual wearing this green jacket, some really tight leather pants, known as Jenna of the Gunslingers, introduced herself to them and discussed the deal that they had, saying that she will help them, but anything inside the vault of the Crow is hers. The group decided, alright, and they made their way to Loch Modan, the hideout of the Crow, where Vash remembered from his old mercenary days. As they made their way inside, breaking inside the Crow's hideout, they managed to kill the guards outside, break inside, kill a couple more guards. However, during this journey, Aldrax did sleep in. I'm just forgetting everything. And as they entered into the second part of the Crow's hideout, they were spotted by a couple guards, and all of a sudden a purple portal opened up behind them as Aldrax stepped out, slicing one of the guards in half and intimidating the hell out of the other one, causing him to drop his weapons and basically grab his pants. Literally, grab his pants. They tied him up and threw him inside one of the rooms to the sides that were holding a bunch of other assassin members, and managed to rope the door shut so that they couldn't escape. As they made their way into the last room, seeing a big titanium vault behind them, and a very familiar figure that Vash knew. As this figure tried to talk to him, the group didn't let him talk at all, and pissing the guy off, he released a lever, causing 8 direwolves to appear out of these cages, and they broke into battle. As they broke into battle, this man caused all these shadows to appear, all this darkness, this dark fog to appear on the room, so no one could see besides Arya, who triggered these dancing lights to appear, seeing all these, basically the exact location of all these direwolves, but could not see the guy yet. This guy managed to beat down Aldrax, and using a Finger of Death spell, reduced him to 0 hit points, causing him to be into a zombie, as Aldrax once again has fallen. As they still fought, defeating off the direwolves, the man began to grow angry and decided we need to end things now, as he used his weapon to blast a wave of lightning at Vash, causing him to go unconscious before using 3 rays of Scorching Ray on Vash, killing him instantly. The group continued to battle him before finally killing him, thanks to Jenna, who shot him right through the eye. As they quickly freaked out, as still zombie Aldrax was still a thing, and they managed to knock him out, but not kill him. As Caspian asked, if there's anything inside that vault, Jenna, to free Aldrax, can we have it? And Jenna said it's going to take a couple hours to free him, or to free this vault, but there's not much I can do. As the group decided, okay, well, screw this, we have to head back to Stormwind, as they quickly went outside, got on the Pegasus, and flew all the way back to Stormwind, and quickly went to the Cathedral of Pelor. I forgot another part. Let me back up for a second. While they were inside, as Vash and Aldrax were dead, luckily Jenna did have a revivify, as she calls her own little grenade. She has these weird contraptions. She did manage to bring Vash back by exploding one of these vials on her head, on basically Vash's face. So Vash was alive. I forgot to mention that part. Sorry. Aldrax still dead. So they made their way to Cathedral Pellar, placing him on this stone table. Finnegan kind of looking at them and freaking out because he was the one on this table at first, because of his loss of magic and memory loss. They managed to, I'm just forgetting everything. I forgot major parts of this. After the Ascon Citadel, let me back it up again. After the Ascon Citadel, Miley figured out how to free Finnegan, or how to get his memory back by talking to the sword, and the sword just basically gave Finnegan's memory back, no problem. That's how Finnegan got his memory back. His magic's still gone. On the other hand, during the fight with the Crow leader, Arya was also feeble-minded, becoming basically retarded as a potato. And then now we're caught up. Sorry, I had a huge list of everything that I was supposed to talk about, but it got deleted for some reason. I don't know why, and it made me upset. But I need to make this video. But as Aldrax laid on the table, his undead body rose back up and killed 2 clerics, squishing their heads. As the other clerics backed up and ran away, not wanting to die, the group quickly just freaked out, saying, alright, what do we do here? And they just decided, we have to kill Aldrax. As they began to punch him and stab him and shoot him in the face multiple times, Vash shooting 2 arrows in his eyeballs, Kriv slicing him down the chest multiple times, Caspian Canwell beating his face into basically a pancake. Finally, he was dead. He just kept coming back and back and back. They managed to find L'Oreal, and L'Oreal performed the resurrection. As they each took place, Caspian, Kriv, and Vash. However, after the resurrection was finished, L'Oreal just walked away, and Finnegan decided, okay, well, I should probably leave too. And as the group all stayed there, Aldrax's body just lied there, still zombie form, for quite a bit before his skin slowly turned back into his gray and his tattoo, or his markings, returned back to his body blue, and he breathed into life once more. As the clerics quickly rushed over and began to heal Aldrax, healing his scars in his eyes and across his chest and his face not being a pancake. He managed to slowly come back out, looking back to Aldrax, besides the scars of Kriv's axe across his chest. The group quickly was relieved, and Vash made his way to the mage quarters to talk to Gilmore about Kadia, his old lover, remembering that the whole spell that was on her was made because of Gulan, or the Crow leader. As Caspian, Arya, and Kriv just decided to sleep at the Cathedral of Pelor with Caspian, or with Aldrax. Arya was woken up by Jenna, who was just really happy to see her, or just happy to, basically see her, because throughout the entire time, Arya was basically flirting with Jenna. Jenna's decided to come in and tell her basically everything that was inside the vault, which was, I think it was 16,000 or 100. It's like 16,000 platinum, 260 something thousand gold. Basically a lot of gold. And platinum. And Arya tossed her a bag of 100 titanium. Or not 100 titanium, 100 platinum. Just to say thank you. And then gave her a kiss on the mouth before she headed out. So Vash made his way to the mage quarters. Met up with Gilmore. Gilmore just said, basically, head to the boat. As Vash made his way to the boat, he discovered that Katya was in the captain's quarters with a couple candles lit and a thing of flowers. And as Vash walked in, she greeted him kindly of, "There's my old lover." Or, "There's my fiancé." As they had a beautiful, little cute reunion of her finally getting her memory back and Vash seeing his woman that he thought he lost return back to life in his arms once more. The group decided to just relax for a little while before deciding to head out to the Blood Mist Isles to see what these Void Watchers would want. The journey was long, being on the other side of this whole island, or this whole world. It took them about a week, maybe a couple days, a week and 2 days, so a total of like 9 days to finally get there, where they arrived at this contaminated island full of this weird red radiation. But thankfully Gilmore gave them a little spell to keep them safe. As the Pegasus flew into this red thick fog, the Pegasus suddenly lost control, and they were flying by themselves. Or the people suddenly lost control, the group lost control, and the Pegasus started flying by themselves into a weird direction. As the fog grew more thick, they arrived at this little island that contained 3 pillars and 1 stone statue in the middle. The stone statue being Yennefer from the very beginning of when they were into the Feywild. As they kind of walked around, 10 of these Void Watchers stepped up and appeared out of the ground and greeted them, giving them a scythe that they have forged themselves out of the abyss. Canwell and Caspian decided that it wouldn't be a bad idea to join these Void Watchers. Caspian, knowing that this might be able to calm her demon, or her have more control over her body. So they agreed to the terms of joining the Void Watchers, but to join the Void Watchers, they had to conquer the Void first, for they would have to fight a Void creature themselves. As one of the Void Watchers took his sword, slicing a hole in time and space itself, as the group prepared, they watched as a dragon stepped out of the void, this Void Dragon, and the group began to fight this huge monster. They did manage to destroy it and kill it, with a lot of them not looking too well. Thankfully, they have a lot of potions. As Caspian and Canwell gave their vows to join the Void Watchers, becoming official members of the Void Watchers, the group decided to head back to Stormwind to decide their next move, of more than likely heading to Caspian's village to discover more clues about how to free herself from this creature inside her. But I believe that's where we left off. And I don't think I forgot anything this time that I know of, besides the whole mixed match of things that I did forget. Anyhow, I still got it, so that's all that matters. And thank you guys very much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and comment below, once again, who's your favorite character and how you're enjoying the story so far. And thank you guys all for watching. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye-bye!